moviegoers. If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian and welcome to See Real Productions. You guys, we have some brand new updates for the most anticipated film for the past 2 years, New Mutants. Now, this film has been pushed back so many times. It's really put fans on the edge. Like, do we really want this movie anymore? Like, is this movie that important? I mean, since the whole Fox era of X-Men is now dead, where are we going with this New Mutants film? Even myself, I was very concerned. I was like, man, this film was supposed to release like 2 years ago, it feels like. And now we're finally getting a new trailer dropping in January, next month of 2020. And yes, it is still being released at Disney. Now, from what I heard and from what people are saying, Marvel Studios is happy with it. Like, happy with it of like, what if we continue this story in the MCU? That is a huge surprise. Apparently, they got rid of Simon Kinberg. Got rid of him. They gave Josh Boone the full creative control and let him finish out the project, his vision that he initially wanted for the film. And I'm glad to hear that because, yeah, Simon Kinberg, yeah, he produced some good X-Men films. But he also failed us with Dark Phoenix, his first directorial debut. Terrible movie, terrible film. And we can all agree with that, right? So I'm glad they got rid of that dude. And let Josh Boone tell the story that he wanted to tell. Because we've seen Simon, we've seen your work. Give somebody else a new chance and opportunity to expand on this large X-Men universe. It makes sense. So I'm happy to hear this, you guys. I really am happy. But let me check out some of this article from the MCU Cosmic, you guys. New Mutants director Josh Boone says the new trailer arrives in January. All right. It's been an interesting 24 hours for news about the long-delayed New Mutants. First artist who defined the comic book run, Bill Skarsgård, I don't know how to say his name, told Kevin Smith that he's seen the new trailer, and it's phenomenal. Now we know when the new trailer is expected to hit. HN Entertainment spotted an Instagram reply that Josh Boone made last night on his official account, where he says the new trailer for the new movie is coming in January. That is very, very interesting. On the Kevin Smith Fat Man Beyond appearance, Bill Skarsgård also said the movie has had the blessing of Marvel, and that there are rumors that Josh Boone is more involved with it now, meaning it's back more towards his original intended version, but with some tweaks done. Now, this is interesting. I like it. I like the idea of it. I was always on board for this New Mutants film. You can go back to my first trailer reaction. I was like, this feels refreshing. This feels new. I'm curious to see where they're going to take the story, introduce all these new characters. I'm with it. I'm with it. I like the concept of it. But, you know, with the whole delays and things like that, we really don't know. See, the crazy thing is, the reason why this film was probably delayed was probably because of Simon Kinberg and what he wanted to do with it. And so he probably scrapped a whole bunch of ideas that Josh Boone was already intended to do and already filmed, and they're like, no, well, we don't want to do that. No, scratch that. Well, let's do some reshoots. Let's delay it. And now that Marvel Studios has the hands on this franchise, they're like, well fuck Simon Kinberg. His vision was shit. Like, so, you know, they probably had a meeting with Josh Boone, like, well, where did you want to go with this film? Such and such, such and such. Well, wow, that sounds good. Like, why didn't it happen? Well, this producer over here wasn't too happy with it. Well, fuck it. Let's take your version, let's reshoot some things, let's tweak it, let's have this universe, this particular film, be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which could possibly happen. Why not? This is the New Mutants. This film has no tie-ins to the Fox universe. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Has there been any mentions of any of the stuff that, you know, the past X-Men films have been involved with this movie? No, nothing whatsoever. All these characters are new characters going to be introduced into, you know, the much larger picture. So this film can potentially be introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I feel like is a fantastic idea. Now, you have to kind of win the fans over with this film. You really do. With all the delays, some fans don't give a fuck about this movie anymore. They don't. They have no interest at all. And that's a shame. Because I will say my interest level has declined, but I'm still curious about this film. Still curious. And if whatever they show in this second trailer coming out in January, which I'm pretty pumped to see now, because hearing all the good news, it's gonna have to be a heavy hitter. It has to. It has to be a heavy hitter, and you're gonna have to win the fans over. You're gonna have to. Now, if Marvel Studios decides to tie this into the MCU, well, guess what? You now have all the MCU fans piquing interest at this film. Oh my God, mutants! You telling me this is where we're going with the mutants? This could be the first introduction, for the mutants in the MCU. So the possibilities are endless. But I'm very curious to see what they're gonna throw in this second trailer come January. Because like I said, it's got to be a heavy hitter. I'll expect to see some story. I expect to see some action, and I hope all goes well for this second trailer and it wins fans over, you guys. Interesting stuff, you guys. Interesting. But push your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about the new updates for the New Mutants. Are you guys excited for this film? What do you think about the details dropping about Josh Boone now having creative control over his project from the very start? Push your comments down below, you guys. And thank you for taking time out of your day for watching C-Real Productions. Peace.